Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I teach IELTS here in Lahore, and I teach IELTS online as well. So we are solving general training reading test, and now we are going to move on with section 3. We have already solved section 1, section 2, but now we are going to go on with section 3, and I'm going to tell you how to read the questions, how to understand the questions, and how to answer the questions. And the question type which we are going to do, this is the most important and difficult question type for students in academic IELTS as well as in general training IELTS. So this is list of headings, right? We call it list of headings, or we also call it paragraph headings and all that. Now I'm going to tell you how to crack list of headings, and after watching this video, please take some practice test, and especially take some practice test with list of headings. There you can apply all the techniques which I'm going to teach you, because application of techniques is very, very important. When I give you some tips, you need to apply those tips, then you will get the results, and while applying those tips, you will come up with your own strategies as well. And if you come up with some nice strategies, you must share those with me as well. Now let's go and solve the test with the magic hands. You'll be able to see my watch, and you'll be able to see my ring and all that stuff, and I'll be holding a pen or pencil, and we'll solve this test. Now let's solve the test and then I'll get back. Thank you. Take care. Okay, now we are going to start with list of headings, right? And we got the passage. I'm going to show you that. And list of headings are always given in Roman numbers, so you need to know the Roman numbers and write your answer in Roman number as well. The paragraph is labeled A to F, and you got to read these questions and answer. Now first of all, don't read the headings. First you need to read section A, means paragraph A. After that you can come back to headings and then you can read them. So let's take a start. Efforts to save a special bird, the spoon-billed sandpiper. Okay, last year and all that thing. If you want to read, you can do that. A, at first glance, the spoon-billed sandpiper resembles, you need to underline that, other small migratory birds of the sandpiper family that breed across the Arctic. But it is the only one to have developed a flattened bill that flares out into a spoon at the end. That flares out into a spoon at the end. Now let me tell you, for list of headings, sometimes you can get the idea in the first 2-3 lines. Sometimes you'll get the idea at the end. You need to see what sort of paragraph is that. Is it the paragraph that is starting with the topic sentence? Then you can find it in the beginning, or sometimes the paragraph concludes with the topic sentence. But this paragraph is starting with the topic sentence, and there they say, but it is the only one to have developed a flattened bill that flares out into a spoon at the end. Actually the bill of the bird, and the bird is sandpiper, it flattened out and then flares out into a spoon. Now let's see if there is any heading that actually attracts us. Gaining public recognition? No. You can underline public recognition. Reasons for continuing to make the long journey? Reasons, long journey? No. A disappointment followed by a desirable outcomes? No. The main stages of the plan? No. A growth in the number of natural predators? Growth, number, natural predators. Increasing threats? No. A very unusual feature of these birds? Very unusual feature. Now what is that feature? The feature is, but it is the only one to have developed a flattened bill that flares out into a spoon. This is a feature. So a very unusual feature of these birds. Number 7 is the right answer. Okay. Now let's go on. Now we've read all the options once, so we are familiar with them. Read these options like this after reading the paragraph. Okay, now let's go on. We've got section B. Until a few years ago, the spoon-billed sandpiper had never been fully documented. Now they're talking about documenting the bird, right? Which added to its fascination, but an air of mystery is not helpful if you are critically endangered species. So the organization Birds Russia decided to produce a photographic and audio record all right, of this imperiled bird with the help of experts round the world in May of last year. Now still I'm not clear what the topic sentence is. I joined the international expedition to one of the species' last breeding strongholds in northeast Russia. The primary aim, yes. Whenever you read anything like that, it means now this is going to be the topic sentence. Until before this, the paragraph was explaining some things, but this is the important one. The primary aim of the 2.5-month expedition, however, was to collect eggs. This is one stage from wild sandpiper. Those eggs would then be hatched. That's the second stage. In captivity nearby, later the chicks would be flown to the Wildfowl or Wetlands Trust headquarters at Slimbridge in the UK in order to establish a small sustaining population. Now these are basically the plans and all that stuff. Now let's see. Gaining public recognition? No. Reasons for continuing to make long journey? No. A disappointment followed by desirable outcome? No. The main stages of the plan? Exactly. So heading number 4 is the right answer. Okay, now we are going to do question number 30, section C, right? So let's just take a start. Here we've got section C. You might wonder why birds like the spoon-billed sandpiper travel, they're talking about their travel, such great distances, about 8,000 kilometers. Now if you keep the headings in mind, it's going to be easier for you. Travel 8,000 kilometers in total from their wintering grounds on the tropical coasts of Bangladesh, Burma and Vietnam. So those who are from Bangladesh, be happy. Spoon-billed sandpiper comes there as well. In Southeast Asia to breed on the low and all that stuff. Now here you might wonder why birds like the spoon-billed sandpiper travel and journey such great distances, about 8,000 kilometers in total. Okay, now they're telling us the reasons because they've mentioned why. Now let's go back to list of headings. Gaining public recognition? No. Reasons for continuing to make the long journey? Yeah, reasons why for continuing to make the long journey. That's why heading number 2 is the right answer for this. And as you've done the headings, for example, I've done with 7.1, I need to cross it. Then I've done with the 4th one, I have to cross it so that I don't read them. Then I'm done with this 31, heading number 2. So I'm going to cross heading number 2 as well. Now 1, 3, 5, 6 and 8, they are left. Now let's go on. We've got question number 31 and section is D, right? We're just going to see what is going to be the appropriate heading for that. 2 main factors are responsible for the sandpiper's recent rapid decline. Now decline, they're talking about decline, and 2 main factors are responsible for the sandpiper's recent rapid decline. The ongoing destruction of stopover habitat on its migration route and hunting on its wintering grounds. Now 2 reasons they have mentioned. The ongoing destruction of stopover habitat means the forests are being destroyed there on its migration route, and hunting on its wintering grounds, the development of new industrial cities and all that. For example, hunters from 40 villages have been given alternative and all that. Now we got to keep in mind 2 main factors are responsible for the sandpiper recent rapid decline and the ongoing destruction of stopover habitat, and the other one is hunting. Now let's see what is going to be the appropriate answer. Gaining public recognition? No. A disappointment followed by desirable outcome? No. A growth in the number of natural predators? No. Increasing threats? These are the threats. Their habitat is being destroyed, then the hunters are hunting these birds. So increasing threat, that is going to be the right answer for paragraph D. Okay, now let's go on with section E, and you see we are left with 1, 3, 5 and 8. Okay, so you got to see which one is the right one. Okay, for this now we move on to the next page. Alright, E. Once the expedition team had reached its destination, It was 7 days before we spotted the first sandpiper. Now you got to think. What is that? It was 7 days before we spotted the first sandpiper. Means for 7 days they did not see any sandpiper bird. In the following days more began to arrive and the male's song was heard, advertising their patches of territory to potential mates. Now see that there are two things here. One is negative and the other is positive. What is negative and what is positive? One of the expedition team had reached its destination. It was 7 days before we spotted the first sandpiper. It was 7 days. This is negative. And then they spotted the sandpiper. This is positive. In the following days more began to arrive. That is also positive. Okay. Now let's just go on. Potential males, and as the sandpiper paired up, and now they are explaining the first one was lost to a predator. This was a stark reminder of the vulnerability and all that stuff. So the main idea is here. Let's just see. We are left with heading number 1, gaining public recognition. And remember, there are some extra headings and these extra headings are trapped. Gaining public recognition, no. A disappointment followed by desirable outcomes. Disappointment, negative. For 7 days they did not find any bird. Desirable outcome, more birds came and they started singing and mating and all that. So for section E, heading number 3 is the right answer. Okay. Now we are done with this also. So we are left with number 1 and then number 5 and then number 8. 3 headings and we've got only 1 paragraph, right? Let's see. Okay, this paragraph is with E, so F. The complex rescue plan does give some grounds for hope. Wow, wow. Now from this sentence you can understand whatever is written in this paragraph. The complex rescue plan does give some grounds for hope. Okay, I'm not going to read any further. And again I tell you, this will not always happen. This is not going to be the case all the time. Sometimes you got to read all the lines, sometimes the last lines. So this is not a clue or tip that read the first line and you'll find the answer. It's only true over here. The complex rescue plan does give some grounds for hope. Now we are left with 3 options. Gaining public recognition, no. A growth in the number of natural predators, trap, no. Cautious optimism, yes. Why cautious optimism? I tell you, the complex rescue plan does give some grounds for hope. Does give some grounds for hope. And then the complex rescue plan. For complex they use the word cautious. And then some grounds for hope, they've used the word optimism. Cautious optimism, we are going to put it here. Right, heading number 8, and now this is, now see, heading number 1 and heading number 5, they were the traps and these headings were the right headings for that. So this is how you got to solve list of headings. Welcome back. Okay, how are you doing? See that? This is how we solve list of headings. Now list of headings should not be a problem for you, and believe me, it's only practice. I mean, you know, this will happen that now with me some students say this commonly, that when you solve the test and we watch you solving the test, then it's quite easy for us, and when we solve on our own then it's difficult. So you know, sometimes it's difficult, but then you got to go on and on and on. You got to stick to it. You need to take a lot of practice tests and then it is going to become easier for you as well. If you like this video, hit on the like button and don't forget to subscribe my channel Asad Yaqub and my other channel Asad Yaqub Vlogs. You should subscribe that channel as well, and don't forget to comment. In your comments you got to tell me what do you want from me, what do you want me to do. Now this video is purely on the demand. It's on the demand of one of my friends, one of my students. I call you all my friends and my students. So I'm making this video on demand, and who knows, next video I make on your demand. So that's why don't forget to comment on this video as well. Apart from this, I teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, you can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best. Take care. Allah Hafiz.